following the success of Transform 2020, we wanted to make sure that we continue offering to our partners a chance to hear from the industry experts. And I guess the main purpose of the event today is to leverage our collective knowledge, deepen our connections, and support startups and scale-ups while growing their business. We are very passionate about empowering e-commerce. During these strange times, it's important that we come together and share our knowledge and expertise. At Webgains, we say that 2021 is the year of affiliate marketing, and it's our time to come out of the shadow and shine a light on the great work that we, our brands, our network, and our partners are doing to keep the economy moving. So for today's discussion, I thought it would be great to hear from the key industry players when we talk about affiliates as big brands on their own right. With many key publishers forming the country's top 100 most visited website lists and top 20 shopping and e-commerce category, the affiliate channel, in my opinion, offers an extraordinary opportunity to reach out to new customers in one of the most effective and probably most affordable ways out there. And thanks to the performance business model, brands can appear in front of millions of customers for really just a fraction of the budget they would typically spend on billboards or TV ads or PR campaigns. So today I'm really keen to explore the advantages of working with the biggest cashback and incentive websites and how these publishers can help you boost your long-term brand equity while driving significant sales volumes. So I'm in great company today. Joining me, Hattie Jackson, Head of Partnerships at TopCashback, Alex Dalby, Head of Partnerships at Blue Light Card, and our own Luke Branley, Publisher Director at Webgains. So let's perhaps begin with an intro. My very first question to you all would be around what it is you do at your companies and how the businesses evolved over the years. Hattie, would you like to start?
Hi, thanks, Alona, and thanks for having me. So I am Head of Partnerships, UK Partnerships at TopCashback, and I started around 8 years ago now, 2013, when I joined the team. A really small team in London. There was about 6 of us then, in the actual office. The whole company there was about 40 members of staff. We had about 1.5 million members back then, and fast forward 8 years, and now we're 250 members of staff and across 5 offices, 20 million members globally, and 12 million in the UK. So we've grown so much in the last 8 years, and it's been, such an incredible journey to have been part of. We've got offices and sites across the world, UK, US and China and India, Germany, and recently just acquired our Swedish company Refunder as well. So yeah, it's been a really great great company to be working for and experiencing that growth. And a bit about my role, I suppose, as you said, I'm Head of Partnerships, and I work with advertisers across the industry, across all different sectors, trying to really understand what their objectives are and really try to drive value and sales for them. And finally, I suppose I'm part of the strategy team as well, so look to drive the business, TopCashback in general forward. So that's sort of me and TopCashback in a nutshell.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hattie. It's really, really stunning to see how TopCashback are growing year after year and being a very kind of prominent player within the affiliate channel. Thank you. Alex, how about you?
So I've been with Blue Light Card, similar timescale to Hattie, actually, just over 8 years. Again, we've seen some pretty strong growth over the past 3 or 4 years as well. We also have a discount provider called Defence Discount Service. So Blue Light Card has a contract with the MOD since 2012. So we have an official discount provider for the MOD and veteran community as well. My role within both is Head of Partnerships. So I help with the sourcing of key partners, the onboarding process, and then looking at their individual strategies to how they can onboard onto the service with with a good voice, and also to improve their offering on the service. Also, on the flip side of it as well is renewals. So it's quite important for me to drive the company to retain those clients as well. The growth of Blue Light Card is, like I say, it's been a slow one in the first few years, but I think since past kind of 3 or 4 years, we've seen some really good growth. We've been really good at targeting kind of the key clients within various categories as well, and we're looking to really outshine competitors with regards to like the data that we're leading with as well. Also as well, the last 12 months with the pandemic, we've been in a good position. So we've really put the members at the forefront of our strategy as well to support the NHS through this horrible time, and also the emergency services as well. So we've seen some really good growth in the past 12 to 18 months.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alex. Yes, we've been seeing superb, really, volumes coming through your campaigns within this year, and the number of visitors and kind of loyal customers increasing year after year with you. So it's great stuff. Look, you've been an affiliate also for quite some time now. So tell us about your role at Webgains and maybe your previous experience working on the client and agency sides.
Well, I'm probably not as interesting as the other two, but I'm publisher director at Webgains, so I head up a team that looks after the needs of our publisher base. So we take care of any technical issues, any issues with tracking, essentially a customer service team for the publishers. But also, I guess our main role really is to identify areas of growth for the publishers and connect them with the brands that we think they're going to see that growth with. So we do a lot of I guess, liaising with publishers, looking at data, looking at things like gap analysis, and saying, well, where are we seeing those gaps, and where can we see this growth from? Before that, I was in the agency side of the business for 10 years. So I worked on a few global accounts and things, but working on the account management side, I think it's different than working on the publisher side. I think you when you're account manager side, you kind of listen to the publishers and you think, oh, I'm not that bothered because I want to do what my client wants me to do. Whereas now you sort of get the publishers and you think, oh, actually, maybe I should have done things differently on the account management side and listened to you a bit more. But I think that experience kind of helps me to understand, how best for publishers to approach the clients and look at the opportunities and kind of give them that advice of, well, although you're looking at it this way, the client's looking at it this way, so potentially meet in the middle a bit, which I'm kind of quite grateful for that experience, I guess.
Stunning. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, so kind of talking, I guess, about what it takes to work with TopCashback or with Blue Light cards. Looking at TopCashback stats, this is one of the most visited websites in the UK with over 8 million monthly visitors, I believe. And similarly, Blue Light card are seeing 2.8 million monthly visits or more, and kind of has a permanent spot in the UK top 10 popular discounts or deal size category. So my next question is, what are these fundamental principles your companies apply when it comes to collaborating with brands? Are there particular entry criteria for brands? Alex, would you like to take it?
Yeah, no worries at all. So we believe at putting members at the forefront of our entire strategy. So we really want to understand what members want before we use our industry knowledge to think about what we think they want. So we rely on a lot of data back from members and a lot of keyword searches for what they're actually looking for, and then we can start to reach out to those clients being data led and saying, this is something that we believe is going to resonate really well with our members. Ideally, we want to work with the leading brands, both online and on the high street, as we have a vetted high street card as well. So members of Blue Light Card can also use discounts out on the high street when hopefully everything opens back up. And we want to have offers that are the best offering for our members, being a closed group service. So we would not partner with somebody who has an offer that's out for the public, we would want a specific offer that's for our members that is better than, you know, Joe Blogs can get off Google, for example. So having members at the heart of our you know, thought process when we're actually reaching out to these companies is very helpful.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Alex. That makes absolute sense. Hattie, how about you?
Yeah, so similar, I suppose we also really kind of focus on our members. As a business, we really kind of stick with our we have an ethos of a fair play policy. Do as you'd be done by, and across the business in every department, we really try and uphold that kind of that mantra, and it extends to our members. Obviously, we want to make sure that everything we're doing is in the best interest for our members, but likewise also for our advertisers as well. So we want to make sure that everything that we do is you know is putting them first as well. So when it comes to selling placements or working with us, we work really hard to make sure we understand their objectives and what they want to see from us, and make sure that we're giving them information, giving them placements, bespoke packages that are actually going to work. Ultimately, if it doesn't work, then they're not going to come back and keep working with us. So it's really making sure that we're doing our best for both the members and for our advertisers. We're also obviously see us with the most generous cashback site in the UK. It's a really important principle for us. So we'll do everything we can to make sure that we're offering our members the best rates. When brands work with us, if they want to appear in our newsletters or in any of our placements, social, anything like that, we ask for an exclusive cashback rate. That's just so that when members know that they come to site, they know they're going to get the best deal out there. So that's something that we sort of require for members, for advertisers when they work with us. Other things as well, we sort of we work pretty much with anybody, any brand. We want to make sure that that it fits with our audience, and we also look at Trustpilot as well, again to make sure that, you know, we're offering the best for our members. We're not misleading them with brands that don't offer good service. But also we also ask that brands offer cashback on all products, and on on-site voucher codes as well. Again, that just goes back to kind of making sure that our members have the best possible experience. And if they have the best possible experience, then also we see that we get the best performance for advertisers as well. So it's sort of making sure that we look after all sides of people who we work with.
No, absolutely. I think that this is the bit which sometimes being in digital marketing, we kind of tend to forget about the end users, certainly on the client side or on the agency side, because we're talking about this, you know, volume campaigns or something like that. But in the end, it is all about the users, and it's so refreshing to keep seeing kind of publishers who are really rooting for their users and making sure that they are advocating for their kind of best interests.
Well, they do tell us. They tell us about it if they're not happy. They have to be careful.
Yeah. It's probably difficult to forget as well. Look, so from the client and agency perspective, what are the perceived advantages and maybe also shared concerns about working with the incentive sites?
I think what a lot of people don't understand about client or agency side is that there are a lot of stakeholders involved on those sides who don't necessarily have much knowledge of the affiliate channel. You know, they haven't worked in it. So there's always apprehension about any type of activity that you're going to do. You know, is it the right place to be putting our budget? You know, should we be looking at PPC or display, or should we be putting it on, you know, above the line stuff? So there's always that apprehension, and there's always this kind of perception of, well, do we want the type of customers who shop on these discount sites? So I think just there's a lack of awareness around the fact that they're not cheap customers with no money who shop there. It's savvy customers who want to spend who shop there and just want to get the most for their money. You know, they want some kind of return. So I think there's kind of that lack of understanding, and of course the lack of understanding of that it's actually a very controlled and relatively predictable environment to a certain extent. You're not putting your money there and then going, oh, we can't afford to pay this now. It's shot off into the distance. So I think, you know, there's always those kind of concerns. And the other thing that also gets thrown around a lot is, you know, we don't want to be seen on cashback sites. And, you know, I lose track of the number of conversations I've had with clients saying the people who shop on cashback sites are not looking down on you and judging you for the fact that your brand is on a cashback site. And the people who don't shop on cashback sites aren't aware that you're on a cashback site. So it's kind of a win-win situation. It's a closed environment, and the people who shop there are specifically looking for you in that environment. I think the overarching thing and the big advantage that kind of wins the day is there's this huge audience within those sites that you can't really access any other way. They're using this as their online shopping portal. This is their go-to when they come on. So if you're not reaching them through the sites, you're just not going to reach them.
Absolutely, and I think that I guess we will explore it a little bit later, but we have so many examples where actual end users are much more loyal to a cashback site or to a closed group portal than to a particular brand, that it feels silly, I guess, not to explore it as a marketing campaign. Hattie, so for brands who, let's say, struggle to decide whether to spend their marketing budget on PR or TV ads or paid search or affiliates, what are the advantages of, in your opinion, of investing in long-term campaigns with cashback sites?
Yeah, so loads of advantages. I suppose the first kind of most obvious one is that it's low risk because you only pay on performance. And it's really easy to to set up and start working with. As we've touched upon, cashback cashback members tend to be loyal to cashback rather than the actual brand. So it's really great for those smaller SMEs or emerging brands to really get a lot of traction by being competitive with their cashback rates. So they can appear alongside those big brands and actually kind of really increase their market share and steal sales from those well-known high street stores by just being listed alongside them. So that's sort of a really cool thing. And also, I suppose it's the fact that we really understand the members and we have visibility on our member behavior. So, for example, we can see whether somebody is coming up for renewal of, car insurance, for example, and target them with a new offer, or we can see if someone's just booked a holiday and target them with some holiday clothes, fashion, and similar. We can see if they're shopping with similar brands. We can target them with their competitor. So there's loads of really clever ways that you can work with cashback sites on a performance base. So you're not forking out loads of money, but you are kind of competing in a space that's level playing field with those bigger brands. So I think that's, for me, why it's such a good place for brands to work with cashback sites.
Yeah, makes sense. Alex, would you like to add something around the closed group advantages?
Yeah, so similar story to Hattie, really. I think a really important part of TopCashback and Blue Light Card as well is paid on performance. So there's no kind of onboarding fees as such. The merchant only pays on a commission when something is sold, which is an interesting proposition to companies who don't who might be entering into the affiliate marketing sector and just trialing a few things out. We've noticed as well there's a higher basket value. So with members who are going on to a site knowing that they're going to get a discount, they're going to get that extra product. In the fashion category, they might buy that accessory. Things like tech, they might buy that speaker alongside the TV as well that they've purchased. So we see an average basket value that's higher than the general public as well, which is pretty interesting. So we can drive that as well. Other parts I think it's quite important is the CSR element of it as well, to kind of introduce that to new brands and also to encourage them to actually use that within their strategy. Supporting the NHS, supporting the emergency services, but actually speaking of it and being confident to announce that they are on a voucher site, but it is for this kind of hard-working group of individuals. And then another thing I wanted to quickly touch on is if it's a long-term campaign that they're joining us with, the brand loyalty is quite important. We see companies change their buying behaviour. If they see a company's onboarded with us not just to do a burst offer, a quick enhanced offer, and they're actually here for the long term, members like that support that they're giving, and they'll probably tell their colleagues about it as well, which encourage more spend for them. So the kind of the long-term partnership seems to work very well for closed group discount sites like us.
So there is almost like this sense of community as well, where people are basically finding their own tribes on cashback sites and on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the community is something that we really put first at Blue Light Card. We believe we've got a great community of closed group members, hardworking individuals, and that's why we want to really support them with these leading brands and various categories that we have.
Amazing. Luke, do you have some kind of real life examples or situations where you saw brands chose to shift their marketing spend into affiliates out of some other digital channels?
I think there's always like a friendly rivalry between the online and offline, particularly agency side. And you tend to sit with each other. Any channel, there's always a bit of a fight for spend. So it's trying to convince the client to put spend on your side. But I think the one kind of advantage that we have online is that it's just so accurately measurable. So there are very few assumptions made around numbers and the journey. When you sit in a meeting and you've got people talking about offline and they say, well, we predict that this many eyeballs saw it and then they potentially did this, and then online you say, well, actually, we know this many people saw it and then we know exactly what they did. We know all the pathway that they took to conversion. We know every touch point. I think it's kind of hard to argue with that. Having said that, in my experience, it's kind of rare that someone's going to shift all of their budget online from offline. They're still I think they still see the value. There obviously is value in offline, and they still see that. But I think it's trying to find a happy medium of how can you continue to use both, and ultimately have kind of this holistic marketing approach that covers the board. I think it's all about kind of consistency of message across the whole board that tends to work quite well. So in the companies I've worked with, there's never been a section where they've kind of shifted everything, but there's been this gradual movement towards the digital channels and towards the affiliate channel particularly. And then you have the argument around affiliates versus display versus PPC and how you use that. But I think that's a bit of a different story.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's all about the balance. And as you say, the consistent message across all the different campaigns, which can be a challenge, I guess, for some of the brands. So I just wanted to go back a little bit into this customer behavior and seeing how it shifts over the years. Shoppers, as I mentioned, shoppers very often tend to be more loyal to cashback or voucher code or closed group portals than they are to a particular retailer. So I guess my question to you guys is, how can brands utilize this partnership with cashback incentive sites to improve customer retention and stretch their customer lifetime spending? Maybe Hattie could start.
Yeah, cool. So I suppose looking at TopCashback, we have over 5,000 advertisers, so we've got a huge range across all different sort of sectors, selling all different products and services, from like finance and travel, beauty, telecom. So there's people are coming to the site to do all their shopping, as you kind of have mentioned earlier, and they're looking to be rewarded every time. So it's really important to make sure that you're appearing on site with regular offers and being in front of the right people. So I think that's really, really key, that people, when they keep coming back, they're looking to get rewarded every time. As Alex mentioned, incentive sites tend to have a higher AOV, and we can actually make sure that we are encouraging people to spend more, having high cashback rates if they spend more, and if they spend more frequently as well. We can also kind of incentivize them to shop more regularly through kind of incentivizing with stronger rates. So there's lots of things that we can do to kind of help improve customer kind of retention and lifetime spending. So it's really kind of understanding what their kind of main objectives are and just tailoring programs for them towards that.
Super, thank you, Hattie. Alex, do you have any also specific examples, perhaps of campaigns which are kind of tailored towards boosting the lifetime spend?
Maybe a few. Yeah, maybe a few. I think part of this conversation is data is a very big part of it. So from a publisher and advertiser side of things through the network, I think if we get as much data as possible about that member's buying behavior, we can then strategically work with the companies themselves to maybe advise them of when members might be spending more. So, for example, if they buy a TV, for example, we know that that member may have a payday around that certain time, and they can start to doing the enhanced offers around that time to encourage that one member to spend a little bit more for the accessory for the TV or something, for example. Something else I touched on briefly, the CSR element is really important to us at Blue Light Card. So companies that openly announce that they are still supporting the services throughout the pandemic and after it, we see buying behaviour shift towards those companies, and members will start to shop around on there a little bit more, as opposed to just getting that one product and then maybe leaving it. They'll see that they are, the company might have put it on their social media or something similar, that they're still supporting Blue Light Card. And I think that still encourages the member to shop around more frequently with them.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Alex. I guess the point here is that it's really possible to customize the campaigns around the objectives of the brand and also the audience profile, which I think especially kind of newcomers into the affiliate channel, from what we see, the brands tend to forget about it, or maybe they don't have the full understanding of how tailored and customized those campaigns can actually be. Luke, from your perspective, when I'm sure you were speaking with a lot of clients while working in an agency, how would you kind of go about talking about this higher longer lifetime spend activities through incentive sites?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one because we did see that shift, particularly on British Airways, from going from being brand loyal to being kind of, site type loyal, I guess. I think the interesting thing and what we tried to do was, if someone starts being loyal to a particular site, then how can you make them loyal to you within that particular site? So it's essentially using that site as your own loyalty program. So, what can you do to target your customers and get them keep returning to you? It's something you see quite a lot on the likes of, I guess, broadband, things like that. When your contract's up, how can you incentivize that person to then kind of continue the contract with you when there are so many people out there and rivals who are saying, well, why don't you get a £50 cashback to do this, or take out fibre at this rate and then you get a free supersonic router type thing or something, something along those lines. So it could be quite a hard thing to do, but if you can kind of incentivize loyalty within the sites where those people are shopping around, where they're going to be shopping, and like I think both Hattie and Alex touched on it, probably when they're going to be shopping as well, because they shopped previously, what sort of contract they took out, etc. You can actually kind of use that to your advantage and say, we know this person will be coming, all right, maybe we're not going to give you what we'd give a new customer, but we might give you something else, or maybe we'll give you what we want to give a new customer because actually we know that you're going to bring in this much money to us. So it depends on a lot of factors, obviously. How much money are you making from that person? You're not going to pay more to keep them on if you're actually going to end up losing money on them over the lifetime. But I think it's a really good opportunity. And I think also for smaller brands as well to kind of, that don't necessarily have their own loyalty programs, you could use those sites in a certain way if you have a really good plan in place. They're closed platform a lot of the time. You can target those people who shop there and you can essentially use that as your own loyalty program. You're using it, they're giving cash back, they're giving exclusive offers to those people. I think it's a really good opportunity for the smaller brands to do something like that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. It was really, really great having you here. And thank you for sharing this superb insights with the audience. and I hope to see you very soon at our next event.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, Alona.
Thank you, Alona.